Welcome to today's explainer. Look, let's just be completely honest for a second. Absolutely nobody, and I mean nobody, enjoys being in the dentist chair. The poking, the scraping, those awful high-pitched bizarre sounds, it's totally understandable if you dread it. In fact, a lot of us have probably found ourselves desperately doom scrolling the internet or wandering the pharmacy aisles wondering, isn't there just a strong medicine, a single magic pill I can just swallow to cure my gum disease and completely avoid that dreaded metal scraper? Well, today, we're going to uncover the real cure for gum disease. We'll separate the absolute biological facts from the marketing fiction and make sure you never waste your hard-earned money on false hopes again. Let's get right into it.
All right, so here's our agenda for today to get this all sorted out. First up, the magic pill myth. Second, the biofilm barricade. Third, we'll be ranking the treatments. Fourth, the true magic cure. And finally, your action plan.
Section 1. The magic pill myth, or as I like to call it, the silent horror hiding in your mouth.
Okay, so we all want that painless, one-size-fits-all cure that we can just swallow and forget about, right? But to understand why that simply does not work for periodontal or gum disease, we really have to look at the sheer scale of the problem. If you were to take the ulcerated, infected tissue from inside all your gum pockets and lay it out completely flat, it would add up to roughly 72 square centimeters. To put that into perspective, that is exactly the size of an adult human's palm. Literally, the palm of your hand.
Seriously, think about that for a second. If you woke up tomorrow with a raw, bleeding, infected wound the size of your palm on your arm or your leg, you would absolutely panic. You'd be rushing to the emergency room immediately. But gum disease, well, it's a silent horror. Because this massive wound is completely hidden inside your gum pockets, and, incredibly, because it usually doesn't even hurt, we just kind of ignore it. And trying to cure a massive, deeply entrenched wound like that with a simple pill from the pharmacy, yeah, that's just not going to cut it.
Moving right along to Section 2, the biofilm barricade. Why pouring medicine from above fails. To figure out why your standard, everyday medications totally fail against this giant hidden wound, we have to look closely at the bacteria's defense system. You see, oral bacteria don't just, float around randomly in your saliva waiting to be wiped out by some medicine. They actually actively construct what's called a biofilm. This is a fortified, sticky, incredibly protective barricade that they build to hide inside. It acts as a literal shield against any medicine you try to throw their way. A really perfect way to visualize this biofilm is to think about that gross, nasty, sticky slime that builds up in your kitchen sink drain. Now, if you take some liquid soap, which in this analogy represents the medicine you swallow or a rinse you use, and you just pour it over that sink slime, what actually happens? Well, the surface might bubble a little bit, but the slime doesn't wash away, not even close. To actually get rid of it, you have to get in there and physically scrub it. Swallowing an antibiotic means the medicine travels through your bloodstream, but when it finally reaches the gums, it basically just washes over the outside of this sticky biofilm. The bacteria safely tucked inside remain completely unharmed.
But wait, it actually gets worse. If you leave that biofilm alone, it calcifies. It turns into tartar. Tartar is literally a concrete barricade. So now these bacteria aren't just hiding in a bit of slime, they are deeply entrenched in a concrete bunker right up against your teeth. There is absolutely no way for medicine flowing in your bloodstream or some mouthwash you swished around to penetrate those solid concrete gaps. No way.
In fact, these pockets can get so incredibly deep and the barricades so unbelievably strong that research shows when gum pockets exceed 5 millimeters in depth, even a highly trained dental professional using physical tools can leave behind up to 89% of the slime if they're only doing a basic cleaning. Wow, this proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that pouring medicine from above just does not work, and even physical cleaning is incredibly tough. We clearly need a highly targeted approach.
Which brings us to Section 3, ranking the treatments, sorting the main characters from the Band-Aids.
Now that we really understand the enemy's defenses, let's look at the reality of oral care medications. We need to definitively sort all those treatments, gels, and pills you see at the drugstore into their true roles. If we look at the top 5 treatments, here's how the breakdown actually looks. Oral antibiotics? They're just a supporting character. Topical medications injected into the gums? Excellent support, sure, but still just support. Painkillers? A temporary band-aid. Mouthwashes? Merely a minor assistant. And supplements? They just provide the biological foundation. Do you notice what's missing here? Not a single one of these medications is the main hero. They're all just supporting cast members.
Let's look a little closer at antibiotics. General oral antibiotics wash over your entire body, which severely dilutes their effect. And as we just learned, they bounce right off that biofilm. However, topical antibiotics, like minocycline gels, are an excellent supporting player. Why is that? Well, it's because the dentist physically cleans away the biofilm barricade first, and then injects this slow-release gel directly into the deep depths of the pocket. It targets the infection right at the source, exactly where it's needed, for days at a time. It's a totally different ballgame.
But I really need to deliver a massive warning here regarding those oral antibiotics. A lot of people have leftover antibiotics sitting in their medicine cabinet and think, oh, my gums are swelling, I'll just pop these to avoid the dentist. Please do not do this. Taking leftover generalized antibiotics on your own without actually treating the biofilm is like, well, it's like strangling your future self. You won't penetrate the barricade to actually cure the disease. Instead, you'll just kill off the weak bacteria in your body, leaving room for the absolute strongest, most drug-resistant superbugs to multiply. When you really, truly need medicine in the future, it just won't work.
So what about the other over-the-counter options? Look, mouthwash is great for surface-level gingivitis, but physically, it only reaches about 0.5 millimeters into a gum pocket. It simply cannot reach that deep infection. Vitamin C is wonderful. It builds up the collagen foundation of your gums so they don't bleed quite as easily. But those wildly expensive miracle probiotic supplements that claim to cure gum disease overnight? Save your money. Seriously, they lack strong scientific evidence, and they simply cannot break down a concrete tartar barricade.
All right, Section 4, the true magic cure. The ultimate hero was inside you all along.
So, if mouthwashes are just assistants, and expensive pills are just a foundation, and even highly targeted antibiotics are merely supporting characters, who on earth is the hero in this biological drama? What is the ultimate magic cure that actually heals that terrifying palm-sized wound hidden inside your mouth? Well, get ready for the plot twist.
The undeniable, absolute magical cure for periodontal disease is your own blood. Yep, that's right. The ultimate hero was inside you all along. Your healthy blood flow is literally the most powerful medicine on Earth. It acts like an ambulance, rushing white blood cells to fight the bacteria. And it acts as a supply truck, delivering all the vital nutrients required to stitch that massive wound back together.
And you know, this is exactly why you have to go to the dentist. Mechanical cleaning by a professional isn't designed just to torture you. The dentist is essentially acting as a demolition crew. They have to go in and break apart that concrete tartar barricade and physically scrub away the sticky slime. And why? So that your magical healing blood can actually reach the infected tissue. Once the rubble is cleared out, your body's natural blood flow rushes in and does the real curing.
Which leads us to Section 5, your action plan. 3 free things you can do starting tonight.
Let's translate all this fascinating biology into an empowering, practically free checklist that you can start on right away. Step 1. You absolutely must perform interdental cleaning, meaning flossing or using those little interdental brushes every single day. Why? Because you are physically disrupting that kitchen sink slime before it ever has the chance to harden into a concrete barricade. Step 2. If your gums swell up and hurt in the middle of the night, absolutely use a painkiller. Please don't suffer. But remember, a painkiller just turns off the fire alarm. The fire itself is still burning. You must see a dentist to clear that barricade as soon as possible. And step 3, build a healthy biological foundation so your blood can actually do its magic.
So how do you build that foundation? First off, if you smoke, really try to quit. Smoking literally chokes off the blood vessels in your gums, which completely prevents the magic cure from arriving. Also, keep your blood sugar in check, because high blood sugar slows down all cellular healing. In fact, the mouth-body connection is so incredibly strong that clinical studies show effectively curing your gum disease can actually lower your HbA1c, which is a key blood sugar marker for diabetics, by a massive 0.5%. It is all connected. And finally, just skip the expensive miracle pills. Get your vitamin C from real, whole foods to build up strong gum tissue.
Your body is an absolutely incredible machine. It manufactures the ultimate perfect magic cure for gum disease every single day, pumping it right through your veins. The only thing stopping it is a microscopic wall of slime and tartar. So, I'm going to leave you with this final question. Are you going to let a barricade of slime block your body's natural healing power? Armed with this knowledge, you can confidently pick up your dental floss, embrace the dentist chair as your ally, and let your body do what it does best, heal. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.